Howdy folks. I want to tell you a few things about the Glock 27. It's a subcompact weapon. Make sure it's clear. It's good for concealment. This is its magazine. It holds 9 rounds standard. I had a modification done where I went out and bought a new floor plate, so now it carries 1 extra round. In my opinion, it makes a lot more shootability as far as having that pinky in there. Some people don't like it, but I do. It's a relatively small weapon. You compare it to this is the Glock 22, which is also 40 caliber. You can see the differences in size from that angle, and then also from this one. Oops. You can see it's quite a bit bigger. This is a subcompact. This is a full-size frame. You can see that the magazine is also larger for the bigger weapon. It holds more rounds. But one nice feature I like is that you can actually interchange them. So you can put the larger magazine inside the smaller weapon. And if you're a police officer and you're already carrying Glock 40 caliber magazines, then I think that makes an ideal backup weapon. Because then if you ever should lose your weapon or have it disabled, you can just use what's on your duty belt, and now you have more rounds and you're ready to go. You can stay in the fight. One analogy I was able to think of, some people like smaller weapons. They think the Glock 27 is much too large and heavy for a backup weapon or for a concealed weapon, but for practicality's sake, this is the remote control for our TV set, and this is remote control for our DVD player. And this one has been lost a lot more than this one because of the size and weight. This gets lost in a cushion, whereas this one is a little more resistant to being lost because it's larger. The same principle. If you buy a 22 caliber weapon and it's really tiny, it's going to be hard to keep track of because it's smaller, it's lighter. You put this in your coat pocket, you're going to know it's there. You're not going to put your coat away and forget it's in there. I mean, you could possibly do that, but I think it's just the right size and weight so it resists being lost a little more readily. The 40 caliber round it's a very good round. It's not too big, not too small. It's got a little bit of recoil, probably more so than a 9mm, but not quite as much as the 45 caliber. But I think it's a good toss-up. A lot of police agencies use the 40 caliber round because it has just a right amount of stopping power, penetration, and those are the things you really want to look at when you're purchasing a backup weapon or another weapon. If you're an officer of the law already, and you already trained with a Glock, with a full-size Glock, you can see that other than the size difference, the controls are the same. You got the slide release, you have the release pins, the sights are identical just about. Everything's almost the same, so why would you want to invest all that time and energy learning how to use that weapon in a stressful situation and then not translate that over to a backup weapon? I think it's a good choice for sheriffs and officers of the law who train with the Glock already. I think it's a real good choice for their muscle memory and having trained under those stressful situations, and now you have a Glock that it's almost identical except for the size. I think it's a real good choice. Like I say, my modification has been to add the little pinky extension, which I think it makes the Glock a lot more shootable, at least as far as my opinion goes. It's still a small weapon, but I just like that. I used to have a pierceless on there, which is just a little bit smaller than what I have on there now. But I picked this up, and it's made by Glock, and it's just the 1-shot extension. I believe they make a 2-shot, which may be a little bit bigger. But I think it just makes it sit in my hand just perfectly without giving up too much space. Longevity. This gun here is 12 years old. It looks brand new. There's no rust or corrosion. My gun safe is in our bedroom. It's kind of close for a shower, so you know, a little bit of water may have gotten in there, and it's perfect. You know, there's no rust or corrosion. I've read a few other makers have had problems with their compact weapons that they rust and they corrode after just a few years. Even some of my buddies have taken their guns camping and they get exposed to rain, and the next thing you know, you've got a weapon that's ready to get sold because it's rusted and corroded. But anyway, that's just what I want to say. I think it's a very fine weapon, very accurate, very foolproof as far as the functionality goes. Some people knock it because there's no external safety on it, as far as being able to lock it and say that it's not going to be able to be fired. For me, that's a plus, because you don't have to worry about disengaging a safety if you ever should need it. It does have 3 different safety. It has the trigger guard, which is one. There's a mechanism inside, so if it drops, it won't go off. And there's also just a little divot, I don't know if you can see it, right there. And what that does is if you were to pull the weapon, the trigger from up here, it would not go off. So that's another safety. I think it's a very good weapon as far as home defense go. The 40 caliber round is time tested. It's something a lot of departments use. They moved away from the 9mm back in the 80s and 90s. And this is a very modern weapon. Thank you.